Hey, so I have a fun one to talk about today, and that is about how we deal with duplicates in Domo. So to start, a lot of times when you're working with data, you'll see that there will be duplicates in your data set. And so the question is, how do I remove duplicates so that my data set is accurate? And so in this case here, I'm just going to use the sample data set, but let's just say that we only want one row per customer. And so in this case, we can clearly see that they're duplicates, right? Liz is in here multiple times. And so we only want one row per customer. And so usually what I do is when anytime I'm working with a data set that has duplicates, I'll usually open it up in Views Explorer and I just want to make sure that there are duplicates. And the way I do that is by a group by. So if I come in here and do a group by, I'm just going to drag in customer name, and then we're going to do a count of all the orders of that customer. Basically, anything that's greater than a one here means that there's duplicates, right? So in this case, Ruben has 10 orders, and so if we only wanted one order, we can definitely see that there's something wrong with this data set, right? So how do we fix this? Um, so I'm going to show you in Magic ETL the most common methods to fix duplicates and what I think is the best method. So the first most common method that I've seen is people will use this remove duplicates tile, and this works pretty well. It has some shortcomings, but it's definitely the easiest approach, right? We would just come in here and we would define what our unique key is for the row. So in this case, I would come in here and say customer name. That would be how I could remove duplicates, right? And so I could run a preview of it, and in this case, it should return just one row per customer. So in this case, I come in here, and if I look at the preview, we can see that now Ruben only has one row. Liz also only has one row. So in this case, it has removed duplicates. But the biggest problem with this tile is that you're not able to define how Domo removes them or which row it keeps, right? So in this case with Ruben, there was 10 rows, and I'm not able to determine using remove duplicates. I don't get to decide what row it keeps, right? And so in this case, we that's what we're trying to accomplish today is how do I remove duplicates, but how do I decide what row I want to keep? And so the new kind of pattern that I'm going to show today is we are going to use a rank and window tile, and then we're going to use a filter tile. And this combo here is going to give us a way to figure out if there are duplicates and then choose which duplicate we want. Let's first talk about the rank and window tile. So this is a really useful tile. In this case, what this is going to do here is this is going to count how many duplicates there are for a customer. And so I'm going to add a window function here. And let's say, I'll just call this count of duplicates. And then I am going to do a rank function. Or actually, let's do a row number function. So this case here is just going to count how many duplicates there are for a customer and click apply. And then I can say what columns make up the partition. This is the part here where if we were doing the remove duplicates tile, this is what we're determining is a duplicate. How do we determine that? And so in this case, we've said that customer name is our partition. So in this case, we're going to count all of the orders by customer name. And then this is the cool part about how we can determine what we want to keep. So to select the column to order the function on. In this case, I think there is a date column here. Yeah, so order date, and we'll say descending. So in this case here, it's going to count the orders that have happened, and I want the most recent orders. Let's say that's my logic is, hey, for removing duplicates, I just want to show the most recent order. So in this case now, what we can do is we can run this. And what I like to do is I like to bring back up the data set, and we're going to do some logic here just to make sure that this looks accurate. So if I come back here, let's see, let's wait here for a second. So now it's finished running. Let's take a look at the rank and window. And in this case, let's look at, yeah, we'll just like take Aaron here as an example. So if I scroll over here, count of duplicates, we can see it looks like he has 7 orders and one. Um, what I like to do here is I just like to make sure do like a quick gut check. So I'm going to copy the name of this customer, copy it over, come here to my customer names. It's filtered down just to his orders, and then let's apply the order date. Let's see, is that what we did it on? Yeah, order date. Okay, so in this case, the most recent order should be the February 20 order. And if I come here and check to make sure, so number one is this top guy, and the order date is on February. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like this is working well. So now at this point, what we're going to do is we're just going to filter. We created a new row called count of duplicates, and we're just going to filter this, the new data set, to be, we just want it to be equal to 1. And the reason we do that is because now all of these row numbers are going to be 1, and that should give us a unique row per customer. So now if I output this, let's just give it a quick name and we'll save and run it. We should see that this output data set, it'll retain all the columns, but it should give us 795 rows, which we determined was the number of unique rows based on the data set view we did. So if we run this and come here, we can see we're at 795, so that looks great. And then we now have a deduped data set based on the customer name, and we're able to retain all the columns. So anyway, I really like this method about doing duplicates. Like I said, the remove duplicate tile does work, but this is a more elegant solution if you want to keep and know, like if you want to determine the logic of how you keep duplicates and also retain all the columns in the data set. So hope you found this helpful. Thanks.